I'm Mark Saxton, and once again, welcome back to the drawing board. Thank you for joining me for yet another week. And oh yeah, we got them twist offs tonight. Enjoy those Friday beers, and this is a special Friday because baseball's back. Yes, sir. Thursday, March 27th, opening day was fantastic. Unless you're an Angels fan, losing to the White Sox, who this just in already eliminated from playoff contention. So there that goes. Embarrassing. Excuse me. If you are in an area with a shit ton of pollen, you understand my allergies are getting the best of me. Nonetheless, let's talk some MLB. Baseball is back. So some scores that kind of stood out to me for opening day: the Orioles whooping the shit out of the Blue Jays, 12-2. Red Sox, who many are calling to win the East this year, 5-2 over the Rangers. Giants maybe turning some things around, 6-4 only over the Reds. Let's calm it down. And once again, the White Sox over the Angels, 8-1. Ouch, babe. And the Tigers were taking it to the Dodgers. You got to tip your cap. I think the Tigers might have found a recipe for um, success this season, as they did lose 5-4, but they were pressing the Dodgers buttons in every which way. They couldn't come away with the win. Shohei, I'm sure everybody's seen it. I'm sure everybody's already sick of it. Shohei hitting a dinger. The Cubbies, it was way worse. I mean, it was 10. They ended up winning 10-6 over the Diamondbacks, but it was 8-1 last I looked. And finally, my Padres winning 7-4 over the Braves. Let's go Friars! Come on, baby. So love to see it. Glad baseball's back. This is my favorite time of year. Let's go into it. Let's jump into it. Way too early division winner picks. I love this part. It's just fun. We'll see where it ends up. I'll give you mine. Starting with the AL West, I'm gonna give it to the Rangers. I think the Rangers are. I think the Rangers got it going on this year. I think we're gonna see some hefty ball coming out of Texas. The East was a little tough for me, but I've decided on the Guardians. I think they're going to be just enough of a thorn in everyone's side that they're gonna keep the momentum going. They're going to win the East, and or, I'm sorry, not the East, the Central. Going into the East, I'm giving it begrudgingly to the Yankees. The Red Sox, I think everybody's too new together. I don't know if they're going to have enough gas in the tank to get it done. The Rays kind of gave everything away. The Orioles always find themselves in a spot to win, but just can't figure it out. The Orioles was really my pick, even over the Red Sox. But I'm giving it to the Yankees, and I hate saying that, but I think the Yankees are going to win the East there. For the National League, for the West, come on, I don't give a damn what anybody says. I'm going to be a homer. I'm picking my Padres to win the fucking West. Yeah, the Dodgers bought $1 billion worth of players. Giants bought a few things, maybe can make some shit happen. Diamondbacks, that is the team I'm worried about the most, folks. I think everybody's focused on the Dodgers. I think that the Diamondbacks are kind of the Red Sox this year of the National League. Look out. Look out. And I'm saying it now. I'm calling it now. Not that I hate the Diamondbacks. They're in our division. I know they've had their few spats over the years. I've never had a reason to hate the Diamondbacks or the Rockies. It's always been the Giants and the Dodgers. Um, Listen, I wouldn't be mad if the Diamondbacks won it all. Wouldn't be mad if they won the division. Obviously, Padres fan first, but as long as the Dodgers don't do it, huh? Let's go to the National League Central here. And in the Central, I've got the Brew Crew. Now, it was tough. The Cubbies are coming up. I really do believe that. I don't know about the Cardinals. Pittsburgh's coming up as well. This I think this division's a toss up, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it to the Brew Crew. As long as they can keep everybody healthy, as long as they can not only keep everyone healthy, but make a couple of big moves come trade deadline. I think that's your division winner. And surprise, 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 picking the Phillies for the East. The Braves are always dangerous. The Mets, I don't know, man. Every time they make big moves and big money moves, buying big players and Soto and all this, that, and the third. Soto was a complete disappointment on opening day, which that doesn't mean he's going to be terrible the rest of the season. I don't think that. I don't think that the Mets are going to be awful. They have done that to you in the past, though, right? So wouldn't surprise me if they fell flat on their face. But I'm taking the Phillies. I think, in all honesty, this is my safe pick, if you will. And let's move it on. So my World Series wish, obviously, the Padres are in it. But I would love to see a World Series where the Padres played the Orioles. I think that would be fun, new blood, a bunch of young talent on both sides, some veterans on both sides. I honestly think the entire nation would enjoy that. I almost picked the Tigers because the Tigers would be fun to watch too, and maybe a rematch of '84. Um, but let's get back to reality. My realistic pick for the World Series this year, and it breaks my heart to say it, but I say the Rangers and the Phillies. I say the Rangers and the Phillies face off. Those are the teams I'm kind of I've got my eye on. Of course, like I said, obviously, the Padres fan want to stick with them, but I think the Rangers and the Phillies are the teams you got to look out for. I'm not paying attention to the Mets with the big buys. I'm not paying attention to the Dodgers with the big buys. I want the teams, and I'm looking at the teams that are flying under the radar right now that have a really good shot at making a good push into October and getting hot when it counts. That being said, let's move it on to some March Madness, where honestly, I've had a lot of success in the men's bracket and a lot of not success in the women's bracket. But let's start with the men's. Right now, Auburn losing 35-34, start of the second half. Who cares? I predicted Auburn to win. Houston is winning over Purdue 29-26. Still plenty of time left. 129 left in the first half and a whole second half to play. Michigan State beating Ole Miss 73-70. Tennessee handling Kentucky 78-65. Now, my bracket at this point in time stands, which I'm remember I picked St. John's to get to this point, so it kind of messed it up. But everything else I got up to this point, I predicted where they would be. So I've got Michigan winning. I've got Auburn winning over Michigan. I'm sorry, Michigan State winning. Auburn winning over Michigan, which they're down by one right now. I picked Florida to originally beat Memphis, who Memphis fucked me over day one of the tournament. So thank you for that. But they beat Maryland 87-71. I had Texas Tech and St. John's. Texas Tech did win. Duke over Arizona, which I did predict correctly. Bama over Wisconsin is what I had, but BYU came in. But they still lost 113-88, but I still picked Bama. I picked Houston over Purdue, obviously. They're tied at 29 now with a second left in the first half. And I picked Tennessee over Kentucky, which I did predict that right. So right now in the E5280 sports and lifestyle uh, competition here, I'm in 25th place and I am predicting 92.1% correctly. And I got 690 points. First place, JV's picks won at 760 points, and he picked the Gators. So, going to be interesting. I'm excited to see that. My women's bracket has been absolutely atrocious, where I'm only picking 47% correctly. Did pick USC to win. Um, I picked UCLA over Baylor, but UCLA is currently winning right now over Ole Miss. I picked North Carolina over Florida State, and North Carolina lost to LSU. I picked USC over Kansas, and Kansas upsetting Kentucky. Um, And I'm sorry, I picked USC over Kentucky, and Kansas upsetted Kentucky. So they're going to face off tomorrow. I picked Oklahoma over UConn, so I got those correctly up to this point. I picked South Carolina over Alabama, but Maryland had something to say about that, but they did lose to South Carolina. And I had Duke over North Carolina. I had Texas over Tennessee. Oh, I'm sorry, I had Texas over OSU. I had them over Ohio, but Tennessee won. And I got TCU over Notre Dame, and I did predict that correctly. Good shit's about to happen. Everything's about to unfold. Can't wait. It's going to be fun. Going to be a fun weekend. Let's move it along to the MLS, where we have a slew of games, and my favorite team, because I am from San Diego County, San Diego plays the LA Football Club tomorrow. San Diego getting their first loss in the club's history last Sunday against Austin, 2-1. So they are no longer undefeated, but they remain in fourth place, playing a LAFC tomorrow, who's in third place. Can't wait for that. Vancouver and Austin in there in first place. And on the East, they have Philly, Miami, and Charlotte up there in the top three spots. So I can't wait for that. Once again, heavy on SDFC. Let's go. Let's get it in. Moving it along. United States falls hard against Canada in the third place game in the Nations League. And just disappointment. I talked about this last week. Everybody's kind of jumping down these players' throats. It's awful. Play with pride. You suck. Kind of message that's going out. Don't get me wrong. Once again, like I said last week, you completely have the right to be frustrated. You completely have the right to be disappointed, and you completely have the right to ask questions. What the hell is going on? However, now I'm starting to see kind of a overcorrection of a backlash, if you will, where like I saw, watching online, I saw a couple of videos of Mexican national team fans talking. And it's like, the U.S. fans are so cocky, which in every sport, United States, that's our attitude. That's the reason why we're the most superpower in the world. That's the reason that we're so great at what we do in all sports. It's that attitude. So I get that, and I get how it can come across, how people can hate it. But then they say things like, "Well, if you were to tell a United States fan that the United States men's national team aren't going to make it to, the semifinal or even the quarterfinal of the World Cup, they look at you shocked, and they shouldn't." And here's my problem. And then they say things like, "Well, they think because of the crest that they play for means that they're going to have success under the national team, and it doesn't, and none of that matters." Here's my thing. A year ago, none of you fuckers were saying anything about the United States men's national team except for what the hell happened to my team. These guys couldn't be beating us. There's no way that they should be winning. So they made a few mistakes. They've had a string of shitty games, a string of shitty tournaments. Now everybody's jumping on their back. Let's not forget what they have done. We've owned that ass for the last 3 or 4 years in all tournaments. So I kind of just, like I said last week, RELAX. Fall back, calm down. A lot of time left. Yes, it's okay to be disappointed. Yes, it's okay to be pissed off. Let's not jump on the bandwagon of hating on our boys. Remember, they are donning our country colors, and I don't think that they're out there without any pride. I think right now everybody's out there without any direction. I don't think that has to do with any management changes. I think it's just growing pains and kind of a new direction that they're headed, and everybody just needs to calm down. If we go into the World Cup and we don't make it out of the group stage, then I say you set fire to everything. Until then, just calm it down. We have the Gold Cup left. Let's try and make good of that. Let's try and make good of the few friendlies that we have left. Let's try and make some good competition. Let's go into the to the World Cup and on a good note. Moving along tomorrow, also with a fight night UFC, which should be fun because I think it's going to be a good card. Starting Arizona time at 1 o'clock. Main card starts at 4 o'clock. And there's three fights that I want to talk about. Raul Rosas Jr. versus Vince Morales. I'm taking Rosas. I don't think this is even going to finish. Rosas is going to get that ass. Kelvin Gastelum over Joe Pyfer. I'm taking Joe Pyfer all day long. And I don't think it's going to be close. I think he's going to get that ass. I don't think it's going to finish. And Brandon Moreno and Steve Erceg. Now, I love Steve Erceg. I love Brandon Moreno. I think this is way closer than what they're gonna than what they're giving right now, but I am giving it to Brandon Moreno. I think he's going to win. I think I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna say it goes to the cards. I say Moreno takes it. Now, moving along, let's go to our fuck it Friday bets. Once again, just finished up with it. Raul Rosas Jr. over Morales at a minus 520. Brandon Moreno over Erceg at a minus 245. Joe Pyfer over Gastelum at a minus 285. Boston Celtics over the Spurs at a minus 600. I've got Florida over Texas Tech at a minus 310. Duke over Bama at a minus 310. Orioles over the Blue Jays at a plus 105. Twins over the Cards at a minus 122 in baseball. Angels over the White Sox at minus 166. Come on, folks. They couldn't get worse. And I'm taking the Padres to hopefully get the sweep here, as right now they are tied at 3. So I'm taking the Padres over the Braves at a plus 120. That's a 10-leg parlay with plus 5,986 odds, 59.86. $5 wins you $304.34. Get that paper. Folks, this is the best time of year. You got March Madness. You got baseball. You got the NHL. You got the NBA. You've got the MLS. Let's have fun. Drink and gamble like degenerates and enjoy all the sports this weekend. I know I will. Thank you, folks. Have a good night. And once again, I'm Mark Saxon. This is Back to the Drawing Board. Thanks again for joining me for yet another week.